Also lamented the increase on gender-based violence. He says that rape increased by 72.4%. The minister says that over 10,000 people were raped in South Africa in the last quarter. Via Zoom, to talk to us a little bit more about these concerning stats is the hashtag Not In My Name Secretary General Themba Masango. Themba, thanks very much indeed for joining us. It's sad that every time we talk to you, it's this subject and the statistics are always pretty grim.
Indeed, Peter. Hi, it's good to speak to you again. However, it seems as though, this pandemic of gender-based violence and femicide in this country is not seeming to come down at all. And I wish we had a vaccine to this, because we are really a country that is at war with its own women and children, where the crime stats are so high, specifically around femicide. When we take it to the entire world, you're looking at about 5 times higher than it is the average anywhere in the world. So, South Africa seems to be, a crime scene, especially when it comes to violence against women. And we're also seeing stats of murder having shot up in a drastic way. And it's really concerning that we as a people are really having a problem with, murder and gender-based violence. And it seems no longer a government issue, but it's a real societal problem. And in order for us to actually, get solutions here, we need all hands on deck. Government alone will not be able to turn this around. Civil society alone will not turn this thing around. We need to stop working in silos. We need to get together and actually, have a concentrated effort in trying to bring down these numbers. Just like we're doing with the COVID pandemic right now, we should do our best to actually making sure that we get to the ground and speak to especially men, call out the men amongst us. It's not the public chats we have. It's the chats that we have in private, at Shisanyamas, at gyms, at car washes. Those are places where we should be getting together and making sure that we call one another out, and not only call one another out, but bring each other onto the table as men to say, guys, we cannot continue like this. Not in my name to this nonsense.
I once saw a tweet on social media that has stuck with me for quite a while, and I thought about it quite a bit afterwards. And the woman wrote, almost every single woman I know knows somebody who's been the subject of gender-based violence. And
Right.
Men hardly know another man who has committed gender-based violence. And I was just wondering why that equation is like that.
Exactly. It's because, we, and it's not that we don't know, we know exactly. And we are, this whole bravado, this whole glamorization of abuse, Malokshini, where we feel, if you've bought a lady some savannas at the club, automatically you've got a right to go home with her. And, these sayings that no, she really doesn't mean no when she says no, and, this thing of also talking just to girls and, trying to tell girls not to wear certain clothes and girls not to go to certain places, instead of actually focusing on young boys and teaching them not to be rapists, to teaching them to understand that their masculinity should not be toxic and vile. And these are things that we really need to start focusing on, because clearly the center is not holding here. And if we don't do something about this actively, where there's political, societal, social will, we're going to have problems. We need to really get onto the ground and start actually physically on a daily basis, making sure that we are talking to these issues. It's not good enough to throw money at the problem and then sit in boardrooms and in air-conditioned offices and say that, no, these are the plans we have and these are the strategies that we are going to be engaging, and not actually getting onto the ground and doing something about it. We really need to do something about this issue.
This is something that you've been at for quite a while now. And again, I've been curious about, is this not part of a corruption of cultural practices and even religious practices? Because we use words like discipline your wife. We use words like the man is the head of the household. And we have this idea that because I paid lobola, I own you. And that these things get corrupted, and then you start to have these practices almost cemented as a norm.
It's the way we've been socialized. As you're rightly saying that, where we teach young girls in the home that after supper it's the young girl's duty to go and wash the dishes, but the little boys can go out and still continue to play soccer or whatever the case may be. And we tell them, no, you need to be able to wash dishes so that you can be a good wife one day. That's the whole nonsensical things that we have. The things that we get taught culturally, religiously, and so on. There needs to be a total learning and unlearning of social behavior and contrast that we are living in, and be able to understand that as men, we are, partners, and we need to be able to view, women and females as equal partners in society. And, unfortunately, the way we've been socialized and the way we socialize young boys is very problematic in this country. And it is very important. That's why I say for us to actually have a concerted effort, especially out to young boys and to young men, so that we can make them understand that violence is not the answer to anybody in the first place, especially towards women. Number two, we need to make sure that we call one another out. We must stop glorifying Upravanbani who says he disciplines his wife. His wife doesn't pull him by the nose. If his wife raises a voice, he smacks her around. And we think, that is, what being a man is all about. We need to be able to call out and be able to say that's the uttermost nonsense. Because, especially with young children and boys, they learn by what they see. And we need to really put out and accentuate more positive role modeling around young boys and men in society, so that we can minimize this issue.
Has it been your experience that the police service in particular have improved in how they deal with these cases? Because it was that, you suffer at home and then you suffer again at the police station trying to report the case.
Right, Peter, you would know, it's been over a year that we've been calling for, more specialized training with regards to issues of gender-based violence and how to treat, people who come into the police station when they say that, they've been abused or raped or so on. And we've over the past year, I can honestly say that our interaction with the police, I think about, the Brigadier Matapelo Peters, who at any given time is able to answer my call and get onto cases that come to my desk all the time, and really handle them with the utmost care. There has been some improvement. However, we've got a long way to go, because South Africa is big, and there are many other places that don't necessarily get the assistance or the help that we get, ground ground places, far-flung areas, who have got maybe a police station with 5 or 6 police officers, and when they try to get assistance, the assistance is very far and not coming at all. So we need to really commend them for the good work they're doing, but also encourage them to continue to intensively train their officers with regards to these issues that we are raising tonight, especially with gender-based violence, and police people to understand. You don't send a person back home, go and speak to your perpetrator. It's your husband. What are you going to eat? Your children, if you guys going to divorce, are going to be, have psychological problems. You must understand, if you're a police officer, you're not a counselor, you're a police officer, a crime is being reported. Make sure that you investigate that crime, arrest the perpetrator, and let the law take its course. We don't want people to be sent back home, back to their, violators and perpetrators and so on.
Themba Masango, we're going to have to leave it there, my brother. Thanks very much indeed, and please keep on leading the good fight. Thank you.
Will do. Thanks, Peter.
All right, that's Themba Masango, who's the hashtag Not In My Name Secretary General, speaking to us about those alarming statistics. 3,000 of the 10,000 gender-based violence cases reported happened at home.